What's up, everybody? Alex here. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to episode 4? Doesn't matter. It'll say it in the title. Of SUDday, Funday. It's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, kind of rotating on and off this and the Friday what's on tap stuff, and basically trying to do some videos here and there without trying to inundate people, with my existence. Ooh, sounds kind of dark. Anyway, today's topic, Viny Me Please, Real Gone music, and an auction? Question mark? We'll get to that in a second. First things first, this SUDday, Funday, we are right in the heat of fall. Heat of fall, the cold of fall. It's pumpkin beer time, as always. This time, we're going to Homestead Beer Company. They're out of Columbus, or at least the Columbus area. There it is, 750 Cross Point Drive, Columbus, Ohio. And this is their pumpkin pie, pumpkin ale, 6.3%, 12 fluid ounces. Gonna be rocking this in this cute little glass. So, as I'm pouring this, here's what today is really. I mean, I have not been listening to a ton lately, just with some stuff going on, but I wanted to show you all some records that I got from Viny Me Please, share my very brief opinions on the Viny Me Please fiasco situation, as well as a sale from Real Gone Music. I got these over the last several weeks, but haven't shown them, and so I would like to do that now. Good little, ooh, look at that. Here we go. For those curious at home, looking at my cute little glass here, this is what they call a stemless teku. Stemless teku. If you put a stem on it, you got a teku. Anyway, I don't want to do full beer review, but it smells like a pumpkin beer, man. Let's get into it. Cheers. Yeah, tastes like a pumpkin beer. Nothing crazy special here. Slight, I get this sometimes with some pumpkin beers. Slight little metallic astringency on the back. Not crazy robust. Yeah, that metallic astringency is still there. Fascinating. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's right in the middle. It's like a 3.25 out of 5. Let's go with that. Okay, so first things first. Maybe you might not know this. I say was because I just discontinued, a Viny Me Please club member for years, maybe 4 years. I will say this. So a lot of people have been talking about Viny Me Please. I'm not the one to get into the drama of this. Basically, it's a record club. They upped their prices. Their prices were always pretty high, based on what you were getting. Maybe, sometimes, depends. But it's a record club thing. I mean, I think record clubs at the end of the day are for collectors, right? This idea that you're essentially getting a random record or whatever. Viny Me Please would sort of do it where they would have these tracks that were sort of genre-based, kind of. It was like you had like Essentials, which was just anything good. Classics, which was just anything old. Then you had country, rock, hip-hop, country and rock sort of got the can, all these different things. But the most recent update was that they announced that they were upping the prices, where it was going to be something like, depending on how long the agreement or the contract was, $45, $55 a month for your record. And I love the vast majority of the records I got from Viny Me Please, but the reality is it was just too much. It was a good time for me to step away and say, you know what, I could use that money on some other things or some other records that I really, really want. But I had a lot of credits left over. So before things got a little bit too feisty over in Viny Me Please world, I wanted to make sure I was using up those credits. So here's what I got. I'll start with this one, and it kind of comes with a little bit of a funny story. This was a Viny Me Please variant from a record that was put out by Ridin' Easy Records. If you don't know Ridin' Easy Records, they are a label that sort of specializes in old school hard rock reissues, private pressings, those types of things. And this was one I was really excited for. I was so excited for it that I actually pre-ordered and got on the test pressing from Ridin' Easy Records. They only did like 14 of them, and it was a test press, and I clicked it, I got it, and they shipped it, and it got lost in the mail. Completely lost, USPS media mail. this was back in July. I mean, 3 months ago now. I'm still trying to get it resolved. I'm like, just give me my money. I don't even know what to do. Of course, Riding Easy's like, oh, you know, it's USPS. So regardless, I'll just show the record. But the band on the record is SUDday, 1974. Awesome. US, I believe, hard rock, good stuff. And again, it's from Riding Easy. The Viny Me Please variant, I believe, is just a green. Yeah, it's like a green splatter sort of situation. But I was like, dang, well, I lost out on my test pressing. And then, the Noble Records one sold out. So I was like, dang, I had some credit, so I got this. But I will say, this is pretty banging. This is a great record. And I think this is sold out in a lot of places in all the color variants. So, yeah, SUDday, 1974. Let's get into some jazz. I believe, I don't know if you're out there watching Ed from On My Turntable, but I believe you're a big Thelonious Monk fan, so you might appreciate this, but this is Thelonious Monk, Paris 1969. So, obviously recorded in Paris in 1969, but this was originally put out by Blue Note, I believe, 10 years ago, 2013 or so. Yeah, it's a double LP. It's Monk, man. It's amazing. Pretty good audio quality here. Obviously, Blue Note put it out, so it's not like it's like bootleg stuff or anything like that. But yeah, just really, really great stuff. Again, great packaging here. Comes on a really beautiful sort of light blue vinyl that sort of matches the color scheme here. But yeah, I love Thelonious Monk, and so that was really cool. This is an artist I've heard a ton about. This is the first time formally listening to this, and I gotta be honest with you, this record changed my life. This blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Kind of falls into that outlaw country sort of style, sort of. To me, it's a little bit more folkier Americana than country, but I can understand. It's definitely sort of in the cracks there. But this is live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas, from Townes Van Zandt. So this was released back in 1977. But I believe it was from the tour in 1974. Man, double LP. It's just him at what feels like an empty bar, just him and his guitar. And man, a fascinating story. We need like the true Hollywood story on Townes Van Zandt. I mean, a tragic story. But maybe it was the mood I was in. Maybe it was just what I was feeling. But this, I spun this and it literally changed my life. I was like, I'm going to have to go back to that record very quickly. So I could not be more pleased with this pickup. Thank you, Viny Me Please. This was the big one from this past that I think people are paying a little bit of money for now, and it's Rocket to Russia from the Ramones. Yeah, great packaging again, cool vinyl here. These were remastered from original tapes when available from Ryan K. Smith, so you kind of got that audiophile situation going on here. But yeah, man, everybody knows this record, Rocket to Russia. I never owned a copy of it. In fact, this is my first Ramones record. Isn't that great? I don't have any other Ramones records. That needs to be fixed. Yeah, crazy good album and a great pressing there. Let's go into more jazz. Yusuf Lateef, what is this? The Three Faces. The idea that the Three Faces were him playing three different instruments, tenor, saxophone, oboe, and flute. Multi-instrumentalist. Some of his stuff is way out there, super avant. Other stuff is a little bit more mainstream. This sits really nicely right in the middle. It's, I think this was 1960 this came out, so not crazy out there, but definitely something to expand your mind a little bit. But yeah, Yusuf Lateef. Again, I believe this was a Ryan K. Smith remaster. Yes, in Lacquer's Cut, AAA. But this is awesome. Great record. And then last, actually, I just spun this. This is an important record. And originals of this are kind of hard to find. And so that's why I picked this one up. And it is the debut from the Runaways. I say important record. I mean, there's a certain naivety sort of about this record. 1976. You got this all-female rock and roll, hard rock, kind of punk attitude type band. Of course, the big hitters in this were Joan Jett and Lita Ford on guitars. And I think they were something like 15 or 16 when recording this, I think maybe 18 by the time it came out. But I mean, so young when they were recording this and obviously such a seminal and important and influential record. And again, I love the type of sort of just, almost like lower fi type naivety about it. It just rocks. So it was on Mercury, comes on this cool blue. And yeah, that was sort of how I emptied out my Viny Me Please credits, if you will. So let's get a little sippy sip of mediocre pumpkin pie. let's jump over. God, it does taste metallic. Anyway, let's jump over to another retailer, label, I guess it is both. Real Gone Music. They did a crazy sale several weeks ago. I mean, they're talking all these records I got. I'll go through them. I maybe got like 8 records or so. Maybe 8 or 9 records. They were all, I think they averaged out to like $8 each. Like, it was crazy how these were going. So these are all Real Gone Music type reissues or something like that I will go through. So for me, the big thing with Real Gone, where they hit the nail on the head for me, was that they got their rights to reissue the Black Jazz series. If you don't know, Black Jazz was a very, very short-lived independent jazz label. Started, I think, 1969 or so, by a pianist, Gene Russell. And I think in the whole kind of catalog, they put out like 20 or so titles, something like that. And of course, those records go for like a gazillion dollars. And so Real Gone has the reissue on them, and it's awesome. I mean, this were specifically a focus on, obviously, Black jazz artists, but also young, up and coming. They were not signed to major labels. They were fairly unknown, and there was a sense of, you know, social awareness to that, to the artist that might not have been as mainstream, right? It was a little bit more out there at times, a little bit more spiritual, whatever you want to call it. So if it was a Black Jazz title, I had to pick it up. First one I picked up here that I'm going to show you is Cleveland Eaton, Plenty Good Eaton. Love that. 1975 this came out. The Eaton menu. Good stuff. This guy, an amazing, amazing bassist. Henry Franklin, the skipper. 1972, that was. Another one from Henry Franklin, the skipper, At Home. As you can see, these definitely have a artistic sort of, consistency to them. 1974 on the skipper, At Home. An amazing record. This is kind of cool because it's Black Jazz after Black Jazz had sort of gone under, because they were only around for like 4 or 5 years or something. But Henry Franklin went and jumped over to Catalyst afterwards, released Tribal Dance. This is a crazy good record here. Good shot of him on the back playing that bass. Amazing. Let's see here. This stuff is probably my favorite stuff on Black Jazz. Just because it's out there, it's instrumental, all of it. It's spiritual, it's all over the place. And I think the name of the group sort of just sums it up. And it's The Awakening. This is Mirage, 1973. And then Hear, Sense, and Feel from 1972. If you're into some out there type stuff, but more out there in like this spacey sort of way, not out there in like the he honk and be bonk sort of way. These are cool. These are great records, for sure, on Black Jazz. This is sort of a cool one. I had never heard of this band before ever, but again, it was like $8, double LP, called Tintern Abbey, B-side the anthology. So Tintern Abbey, turns out, was a British psychedelic sort of poppy blues band in the late 60s that I guess never really sort of blew up. So this seems to be a comp of a whole bunch of early stuff. I guess maybe this was 1967, 68, something like that. There's some really cool stuff on here. I mean, it's psychedelic, yeah. I get sort of that mid-60s The Who sort of stuff. That really, when they were kind of leaning into a little bit more of the psychedelic stuff during the Who sellout and that type of stuff. Yeah, this was a really cool find. Tintern Abbey, beside the anthology. Yeah, very cool band, very cool comp. Talked about this band before. Nobody seems to talk about them, but I'm glad that some people were talking about them. Now, here's the thing, and this is where I'm looking at Real Gone a little bit kooky, is because I'm like, okay, it's great that this record was like $11, but it was retailing for like $38. Why are you selling this single LP, no gatefold, basic ass single LP record for $38? But it's Fanny, live on the Beat Club 71-72. So Fanny, sort of like the not even proto, they were, one of the first all-female rock and roll hard rock bands, signed to Reprise, I believe, at the time. Awesome band, great sound quality on this one. It is totally rocking, amazing. But yeah, would I have picked this up for $35? Hell no. Did I pick it up for like $11? Yes, I did, and I'm glad I did. Here's another sort of British hard rock circa 72, 73. You had the Baker Brothers or the Ritz Brothers. You had, you had Ginger Baker. They did the Baker Ritz Army, all those different things. And then you had the three-man army, again, with the Ritz Brothers. This is two. Again, just awesome sort of early mid-70s hard rock, a little bit proggy, that type of stuff. Really, really cool stuff from the Ritz Brothers there. And this was cool to find this because I had just seen this band open up for Jeff Lynne's ELO a couple of weeks earlier, and it is the debut from Rooney. Cool band, power pop for sure, but sort of not in the magic day of power pop. This came out in 2003. What I find really funny, though, is we have a misprint on the hype stickers. If you can see here, it says the 1993 Power Pop Classic, 1993. 2003 Power Pop Classic. So, yeah, definitely Power Pop, though, really sort of leans into a little bit of that Fountains of Wayne sort of vibe, big Cheap Trick aspects here for sure. And again, was really cool to have this. And then last, just to feed my sort of funky soul type area, it's Don Julian and the Larks. This was on Money Records back in 1974. I think a pretty rare record. Super slick. I believe this was sort of a maybe soundtrack adjacent to a blaxploitation film around those times, but yeah, good old funky soul stuff from the early 70s on Money Records. Great stuff. So there you go. There's what I picked up from Viny Me Please and Real Gone Music and all that other stuff. The last part of this video is really kind of talking to you all a little bit about I need to clear some space and make some money, basically is where I'm at. Over the years, I have just amassed a ton of duplicates or records I didn't need or audiophile, MoFi stuff, all these different things that I just sort of fell into like the hole in. And then now I'm looking back and I'm like, you didn't need to do that. So it's not really regret. It's more or less, you don't need to keep these. You know what I mean? Like collecting changes, what we want to collect, why we collect it, how we collect it, all that type of stuff changes every day. And so I'm saying it this way, that I need to offload some records. But here's what I'm trying to avoid. If I go to a record store with $1,000 worth of records, they might give me $300 or $400. Some record stores might give me $100. Don't like that. I don't really want to get into the Discogs thing, just because I just don't want to get into the Discogs thing. Facebook Marketplace is a fucking hot mess express. I mean, I'm like, when I look at like the worst people in the world, like I'm like Nazis, January 6th insurrectionists, and then like Facebook Marketplace people. Like those three, I'm like, figure it out, people. Like fight for hell. I don't care. So I'm saying all that I'm attaching to some video, flip videos at the end of this. It's nothing crazy. It's just a couple of like 30-second flips of a whole bunch of stuff I have. And I have a ton of more now I'm trying to get rid of too. Some of it's audiophile stuff, some of it's duplicates, but some pretty heavy hitters. A lot of Beatles, Stones, Kiss, Miles Davis, whole bunch of stuff. If you are a viewer, a friend, somebody watching, and you're interested in any of these things, please let me know. Let me know what you think I should do. Should I do a YouTube auction? Should I dive into that rabbit hole? All those different things. So, yeah, just say that to, let me know what you think of the whole flip thing, and if you see anything you like, or what you think I should do. I have a lot. I mean, I'm telling you, I have a lot of shit I need to get rid of. Just thinking honestly, you all know I love talking about coal mine, how much I love coal mine, even in the coal mine world. Gabbard Brothers, man, this is a really, really great brand, but I have 2 copies of this. I don't need 2 copies of this. One of my favorite albums, for those jazz fans out there, Okonski, Magnolia, great record from last year, piano trio record, amazing, 2 copies of that. One of the original actual coal mine releases, this was 2003. I think the first LP that was ever released on Coal Mine, the Jive Turkeys present Bread and Butter. If you don't know, Terry Cole, the owner of Coal Mine, was the bassist in the Jive Turkeys. An amazing, funky record. This was huge. This is like a $50 record now. The Sincere Years, their debut on Coal Mine. You can find this anywhere for not a lot of money, but you can find it from me for even less money. And that's the debut from the Black Pumas. Again, some more great neo soul type of stuff. How about the latest from Pale J? This comes with a signed insert, amazing falsetto, high voice soul stuff, and a great diva herself, Kendra Morris. A great record. This was the Coal Mine web store exclusive. I got another copy of this that's signed. So, I mean, all this stuff I'm like, I got to get rid of. Plus, again, watch these quick videos at the end of this. Let me know what you think. Send me a message. Send me an email. If you're interested in seeing a full flip or seeing the whole collection, I'll probably put together some sort of like Excel sheet or something. So, there's that. But, yeah, that's all for it. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Thanks for watching as always. I'm going to finish up this mediocre pumpkin beer. And, yeah, carry on with my Sunday. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.